from Pilates Teacher Training in Devon. Welcome. So today we are talking about good posture and body awareness. So we've all heard about improving your posture and have a good posture, but what does posture actually mean? Posture, or correct spinal alignment, has to do with your joints actually. So if your posture is in that position, the way our spine is designed with all of those little bones that are connected to each other, when we are in this position, those bones are not sitting on top of each other correctly, which means everything else in our body is being pulled out of position and the body is under some kind of unnatural or abnormal stress. So a good posture, or a good spinal correct alignment, fill those words around, you know what I mean, is where your body has the least stress on the joints, on the muscles, on the ligaments, on the tendons. So everything is sitting in a perfect little statue, if you can call it that. And yes, we don't like to think of things as perfect because all of our bodies are different and we all have considerations. So in relation to a good posture, the first thing to check is, I would say, is we start from the ground up. So it's like, where are your feet? Are your feet there? And I'm terrible for standing like that, especially when I was in the police. I used to always be on one leg. So watch yourself when you're in Tesco's and you're waiting for the queue. How do you actually stand when you're at your trolley? So all of a sudden, you might, I always find I start going onto one leg and I'm trying to bring yourself back to the center. So feet are slightly turned out. They're not dead on straight, so slightly turned out. And then where are your knees? So are your knees rolling in? Maybe they're rolling out. Now this is where we have to be considerate to bone structures in people's bodies. So you will get people that are bow-legged, you might get people that are knock-kneed. That is a natural bone structure for that person. So for me to come along and say, oh, you need to have your knee over in one specific place, that person will probably have to break their legs in order to get them there. So we need to appreciate, like I said earlier, that we all have a different body. But in an ideal world, your feet would be there, knees under your hip sockets, and then I'm going to do it at this angle because it's more normally what you can see. Then start to notice, does your chin feel like it's hanging off of your neck there? Or do your shoulders feel rounded? We do have a giggle because sometimes you'll say lengthen your spine and reach up towards the ceiling and there's no movement. So what you want to do is think of space in your rib cage, space in your sides, and you want to have a little shoulder roll and just draw the shoulders back or down. So in the beginning, when you first start Pilates, if you have got quite an upper rounded posture, you might find that when you're standing in a neutral spine or a good posture, that you're actually in that position now. It's what it feels like, it's your proprioceptors, but that will get better as you practice your posture. The best time to look at your posture is when you're walking past the shop window, when you can see the reflection. Because generally when you're walking, you're in a natural stance, so to speak. So the next thing you want to notice is your hips. So for people that sit a lot and stand, drive a lot, tend to, not everybody, have a little bit of a tilted pelvis. So the bum's a bit more sticky out. And people like that often think they're fat, but it's only because the intestines and everything else are practically falling out of this bowl. So if they think of just tucking the tailbone under slightly, they might find that the belly goes away. So that's for people, often like pregnant ladies or very overweight people will also have that kind of posture. You can also get another posture where people are in that position. So you can, you know, if you look down and you can see your hips are way in front of you, then you also know that you have that kind of posture. It's not that common, this kind of shape. The more common one we see is that, with the bum sticky out. So are your ears in front of the shoulders? And are your shoulders leading down in line with your hips? And then your ankles should be under your hips as well. Some people have hypermobile knees, so the knees shoot out the back a little bit. But I'm just trying to keep this quite basic. So the biggest issue people have is they tend to be very closed and very rounded in this position. So just think of space. Space in your hips, space in your tummy, space in your ribcage, space in the chest. And then think of space between your ears and your shoulders. So remember, if you're quite tight in this, when you try and lift your ears, your shoulders might lift. It takes a bit of effort to pull your shoulders back and down. So that is a good posture. It's the position of the body where you have the least stress on joints, bones, ligaments, tendons, and all of that. So leading on to posture is body awareness. And that's one of the things that Pilates will give you, is good body awareness. So when you're in your car and you're driving, all of a sudden you notice your shoulders, like, oh, my shoulders, and you'll pull them back and down. Or again, you're standing in Tesco's and you stand at this, or get into the right position on your trolley, or maybe you just sat watching TV, slouching there. You will hopefully have your Pilates teacher's voice in your head saying, sit up straight, pull the belly button in, or whatever cues it is. So body awareness is the first step to changing anything. It's like anything in life. Awareness is the first step to making changes. So we need to become body aware. So when you're standing there in Tesco's or cooking or brushing your teeth, how are you standing? Glance in the mirror, glance at your feet, and then just start to notice how your body looks. Not from a judgmental point of view. It's like, okay, it's interesting. Oh, I noticed my hips are quite forward. Let me just pull them back a bit. Oh, my shoulders are a bit rounded too late. Let me open that up. Not a negative or a positive thing. It's just a thing. So don't treat it as good or bad. Yes, that was a very sharp end before I get told off. So body awareness and posture was today's video. So I'm Tanya, and from Elite Pilates Teacher Training, and we're based in Devon. If you've got any questions, you can email us on info@elitepilatesteachertraining.co.uk. Take care. Bye.